Hello.
Hi, Jordan.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's great to see you.
You too. Nice to see you in person.
I know. All this communication back and forth online, and now we finally get some time together.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. You know what? Why don't we begin by telling everybody a little bit about you, who you are, and how you got into the egg freezing space?
Sure. My name is Jordan.
Jordan what? Jordan
Mann.
Right?
I guess I kind of got into the egg freezing space because of my sister, Lauren. Back in, I think like 2013, my sister had gotten married and she was struggling to get pregnant. And, she went through all of the levels. She was doing IUI for quite some time. And I think I initially kind of like made a little joke and was like, if you ever need to borrow my ovaries, you can. And
Such a nice sister of you.
yeah.
Oh, that little comment, where it goes.
Yeah, just that little hint of like maybe this. But then it came down to it. It unfortunately came down to that. And she asked me, and I said, yeah, of course. And so then we started the egg donation process.
So you essentially became an egg donor for your own sister.
Yeah.
And how was that discussion when you first were talking about it as a family? Because this isn't just a light decision. I mean, it's awesome that it's still in the family, but it's different than like an egg donation from a third party that you would never meet.
Right. I think when we initially started the conversation, like I didn't really know what that entailed. I had seen ads and, Craigslist throughout college, donate your eggs and you will get paid.
Yeah.
And that's like the extent of my knowledge. I knew that it was something that you could do for cash.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, pushed on college students as like a good way to make a quick
some money.
Yeah, which now knowing the process, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Probably not the first choice.
Money shouldn't be the motivator.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Agreed. 100%.
But yeah, so she had already gone through one round of IVF. So she kind of prepped me a little bit about it. She's like, it means you're taking hormone injections, and it would mean at the time I was living in Los Angeles, it would mean you're moving out to New York for, 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how the cycles sync up. And I was just kind of like, cool, like, let's do it. And so we did. My job allowed me to leave for like probably like a month and a half. And I flew out to New York and lived in my sister's apartment with my sister and brother-in-law and started going to the doctor every day.
Yeah, I bet that was like an out-of-body experience in some aspects. Like, here you are going to the doctor, they're telling you all your medical results, but everything is for your sister. It's like giving a kidney, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a different, like, in some ways the pressure was off me because,
sure.
It wasn't for me, it was for my sister. So in that way, it was a really lovely experience because I think it's unique and exciting to be able to give someone something like that.
Yeah.
Especially because like my sister's dream is and has always been to be a mom. Like that is her big dream. I'm an actor. That's my big dream. That's what I've been pursuing. Like this is motherhood has been the pursuit of her life.
Right.
So it was particularly crushing when, you've been told that your body physically won't allow you to participate in the dream.
Yeah, or failed you in some way, regardless which partner it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here she found the love of her life and was ready to start this amazing family. And then it, of course, Murphy's Law didn't work out as normal or as planned. So tell us, how many times did you donate and how many eggs did you get and how did you feel like during the trigger shot and the retrieval and afterwards?
I donated twice. The first time I gave, I think, 13 eggs. It was around about there. And then, I felt physically, I didn't really, it didn't really affect me too much. I had, quite a bit of bruising around like the injection site.
Yeah.
But emotionally, I was a real fun time.
Oh, you were all over the map?
Oh my God. I will never forget. I was in a movie theater and it was a matinee and it was just like dead. And there were two dudes sitting in front of me. And I think within like 30 seconds of the movie starting, it was the Hunger Games. I started audibly sobbing, like heaving loud sobs, and these dudes are turning around and they were like, are you
okay?
Are you okay? And I was like, I am not okay. I am not okay. Like, I couldn't deal. I was crying all the time. And then like fits of hysterical laughter. And you know what? I did get nauseous. Like I was throwing up quite a bit in the first. Yeah. I don't know what that was. But that was kind of the only physical thing from the first round. The second round, I was emotionally more stable.
Yeah, you knew what to expect.
Second round, yeah. I think that was in 2016. Let's see. We gave 33 eggs. And then I snuck away, I think, 6 of those for myself. So those smart. Are frozen right now. Yeah.
And how old were you at this time?
What?
How old were you at each of those freezes?
The first one, I was 23.
Oh, wow.
The second one, I was 26.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then, but physically afterwards, after the second retrieval, after that, the trigger shot into the extraction, and then the next day my ovaries, because I think simply because of, they go in individually for each egg. So the doctor said my ovaries had swollen my mouth up to the size of grapefruits, and they were hitting each other. So I was experiencing quite a bit of pain. Yeah. In typical New York fashion, the doctor said it's kind of like if you were a man and someone had kicked you in the nuts, except it's
horrible analogy.
Right? More like if a truck had run over your nuts for about 10 minutes. And I was like, that's great. Thank you for explaining that to me. Because it was extended. It wasn't like, quick pain. It was like you're doubled over for 15 minutes screaming out loud.
Yikes. Did you use ice packs or did you like lay down? Did any of that help?
I would lay down or sometimes curl into a ball. It just kind of depended on the thing. And what did I do? I mean, I took ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Smoked weed.
Yeah.
That was the only way I could kind of sleep and get past. And then after,
so strange.
It was pretty,
like your first experience was so different from your second.
Yeah, wildly different.
But you got a lot more eggs the second time.
But I got so many more eggs, which I assume that's why the physical reaction was so much stronger.
Yeah, like obviously your hormone dose must have been elevated and your production just was higher. You just responded really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it does seem like there's like complications by doing that, like your body is just like pressed to the max.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's hard to tell, before you go in that day, what it's really going to be like.
Yeah.
They can make an educated guess as to how many eggs you're going to give. But
they don't know until they go in there.
You don't know until you're in there. Yeah. It's I don't know if the egg retrieval in New York City is the rooms are so small.
Yeah, because it's like real estate is such a high premium.
Yeah, so you're in this bed, and you're in the stirrups, and then you've got a nurse you've got somebody giving you the
anesthesia.
the anesthesia, and then you've got, the doctor in between your legs, and then there was someone else on this side, but there was like no room to turn. And then what was hilarious is there was like a little window that opened up, and another person popped their head out, and they were the lab tech. I felt like I was at McDonald's for my egg retrieval. Like, what is happening?
You're like, drive by eggs.
You have French fries.
Yes. They should have French fries on tap afterwards. Like I always say, like, I love French fries. Okay, so you donated the second time. What happened from all these eggs you gave your sister?
Yeah, so the second time, I think we got around like 14 embryos. And then
from all your eggs.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that I can't remember the exact numbers, but it kind of like went down by half every time.
Yeah.
So
it's a numbers
game. Half of them became embryos, and then about half of those reached that 5-day
blastocyst level, right?
Maturation. And so the first round, I should say, my sister got pregnant off of our first transfer.
Amazing.
Which was amazing. And because of that, we have my nephew, Owen, who is he's turning 5 this August.
Wow.
And it's just like a total monster in the best way. Like, he's great. So that was a pretty incredible, it's been a really incredible experience. But since then, she's done a total of 7 IVF transfers.
Wow.
She only got pregnant the one time. And at this point now we're out of embryos.
Oh man,
which is so a bummer.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that she has Owen, but in the same aspect, especially when you want to enlarge your family, and that something that worked so easily, it seemed like on the first try, then never worked again, is like, how do you know when to stop?
Right. Well, and when you've been told, like, she was told that the reason she was having trouble getting pregnant is because she'd never released a viable egg. So then it's like, okay, well, once you get that egg,
problem.
Yeah. Once that problem's solved, I think none of us expected for it to be
ongoing.
Like after that.
Yeah. That we should have, that issue should have been gone. Man, that's so hard about infertility. I mean, it affects 1 in 8 couples, and sometimes there's unexplained infertility, which you just want to know why.
Yeah.
And that's so hard. Does it make you fearful for your own fertility, or do you know if you want to be a mom?
Yeah, it doesn't really make me fearful for my own. I think probably because I don't know if I want to be a mother. I think if I knew that, then I would probably be a little bit more on the forefront of like figuring out
your next move.
What the next move is, if I really, really need, if this is something that I should be afraid of. But the doctors the entire time have said, like, whatever is going on for your sister, it doesn't seem like it's a problem for you, because I haven't had trouble donating. But
you were also 26. I mean, and your sister was what, 35, you said?
Oh no, the first time I donated, she was 27.
Oh, wow.
She was 27 when this whole process started.
See, and you don't think that you should have reproductive issues at 27. That's what's so bizarre about this, is that like literally could affect you at any age. Age is a factor, but it's not the only factor.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. I think also just because of like my career, I travel around a lot. I've not been in the same state for more than I haven't been in my home for more than 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of hard to imagine what having a family would look like at this point.
Yeah, right. How that would fit in your life today. Well, then let's talk about how this led you into your current project.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm an actor, I'm a writer. I'm kind of always trying to create and work on something. And one of the things about being an actor early on in your career is you don't really get a lot of say in what projects you do. It's kind of like whatever you're cast in, you do. You don't necessarily get to pick.
Yeah, the run of the mill. If you get the part, you get the part. Great, then you do that role. But you can audition for certain things, but if you cherry pick too much, you'll never get work.
Well, there's not even an opportunity to cherry pick. It's like, you work when work is there. And so this kind of came out of 2 things. Number one, after the first retrieval, I started writing a story kind of to process my experience going through egg donation with my sister, because there's a lot of really bizarre things that kind of like come up that you don't think about.
Like the legal aspect and the
legal aspects, but more like people asking you, like, people don't really understand. They're like, oh, so you carried the baby? And it's like, no, I didn't carry the baby. I donated my eggs. So, oh, so you're the mom? No, I am not the mom, because I am not rearing that child. My sister is Owen's mother. But then also, like, because of my sense of humor,
biologically you are, but not
exactly.
motherly. Yeah, sure. It's complicated.
I like to make a lot of jokes. So I'm like, he's my nephew's son, and my sister's like, I'm gonna kill you.
My nephew's son. So wait, have they decided to tell Owen about the IVF?
Yeah, that's another thing, is one of our kind of requirements in the first donation was going to a family counselor and talking through all of these things. And they recommended, they said, we recommend you tell the child, because if it becomes a discovery later on, it can feel like a betrayal, or it can feel like they've not been
they don't know their true identity.
Yeah. And so if it's normalized from the beginning, if you're constantly,
then you're never worried about it.
There's nothing weird about it, because it's not like, who am I? It's like, oh, no.
Yeah, there's no secrets.
There's no secrets, exactly. So yeah, it's like those questions that would come up, and even like we were at church the first time after my sister gave birth on Mother's Day, and
oh my
sorry,
God,
she didn't give
all
birth
days.
on Mother's Day.
Yeah, but after Mother's Day.
But it was our first Mother's Day while my sister had a baby, and we were there with my mom, and they said, could all the mothers stand up? And my mom tried to get me to stand up.
Oh my God, your mom sounds like my mom, because we had a pre-discussion the other day about how your mom was like, oh, well, you could just donate more eggs for you, huh? And like my mom told my sister, who is an avid, doesn't know if she wants to freeze, and she has me for a sister. So like, obviously I'm telling her all the time in her back of her ear, like, you should freeze. And she's like, no, it doesn't happen naturally. I'm not going to do this. And my mom's like, well, if you ever couldn't have a baby, do you think you'd use Valerie's eggs? And I'm like, hello, where's my name in the discussion?
Yeah, that's like it's just and you don't think about those things. And of course, like my mom, your mom is trying to be encouraging and trying to come up with a solution. And I think that sprung out of a moment of my mom trying to honor what I had done for Lauren.
True. It was going back to...
That's so lovely. But it's just those moments where you're like, oh,
awkward,
God. Like,
awkward. It's like awkwardness in IVF.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was like kind of having all of these experiences. I started writing a story about it. And then...
I imagine that would have been very inspiring to write
about. And also because, like, for my personality, like, I feel like it's a lot easier to talk about hard things if you can laugh about them first.
I agree.
And I have a really dark sense of humor. I make jokes at really inappropriate times. Some of my favorite moments in life have been like raucous laughter at funerals, because that's what you do. You get in these really intense things, and then something immediately like breaks the tension, and it's hilarious.
And it also relieves everybody from all that stress and anxiety that is in the moment.
Yeah. It's like,
so, well, that's a talent, because to do that well is hard.
It's true.
You could just say something wildly inappropriate and it didn't go over well, and you're like, okay, I just made all the tension worse.
Horrendous error. Yeah,
I'll just leave now. I'll just mellow in the shadows.
Yeah, I'll fade into the background.
Yeah. Slowly depart.
Exactly.
And so all of this writing led you to your current production.
Yeah, so I wrote a short film that's loosely based on my sister's and my experience donating eggs. It is by no means autobiographical.
Right, or the actual story of how it turned out.
The actual story, yeah. It was inspired by experience, but it's not my sister's and my story. But it is. They kind of live in this like larger than life inappropriate land of making jokes at the wrong time, and kind of like the trouble you get into when you're having these really hard conversations, and when there are expectations. I think that's something that you also don't necessarily talk about when you're doing interfamily egg donation. It's not out of sight, out of mind. You are with your family. So
all the time.
If someone has expectations about what you are doing with your body and how you are treating your body during that time, you kind of get into an interesting gray area, because it's like, yes, it is my body right now, but my body is being used for someone else.
Well, it can hit a lot of hot buttons.
It hits a lot of hot buttons real quick. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what this story is exploring. Like you get to be your most horrendous self around your family. And
they still have to love you, because guess what?
Your family still have to love you. It's awesome. Yes, I wrote a short film, and we've got an almost entirely female crew.
That's amazing.
Which is incredible. I'm so excited to have women on this project.
Yeah.
And we started a crowdfunding campaign about 2 weeks ago, and we're shooting, I think, the second week in June in Brooklyn, and then we'll edit it and we'll send it off to festivals and hopefully just get people talking and laughing.
Okay, tell everybody what the movie project is called.
So the project is called The Big Ask.
That's a great title, because that's exactly what it is.
It's a huge ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, and we'll put all the links so everybody can see the crowdfunding campaign and help donate to their project in such a neat way to showcase and honor everything that you've done and celebrate your family and just even your work. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Anything else about the project you want to share?
I mean, I think it's just, for me, it's a dream opportunity for so many reasons. It's, number one, getting to talk about infertility and create a safe space for women to laugh and feel like there's a voice to what's going on. Number two, it's creating more work for women in film, which is
always needed.
It's always good. And number three, it's the opportunity to collaborate and bring in other voices that aren't necessarily always heard.
Right. And we're so tired of the regular story where the girl, is the dumb blonde that gets killed or falls in love with the dude. I mean, those stories are so overplayed. So like something that's real, true to life, has some meaning to it, also addresses some of these huge social dynamics of how our world is changing, how fertility's changed our world, I think is incredible. Because there's a handful of films out there that currently address this, but not at this caliber, not with this subject matter, not with this exact storyline.
Yeah, and it's just the more we can talk about it, the more different views we get of people dealing with infertility, dealing with polycystic ovaries, dealing with miscarriage. Like, we have to talk about these things. So the more films about it, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's bring it into every television show.
Right. Modern Family 101, like the true Modern Family. I love it. Yeah, no, it's so amazing what you're doing. I couldn't support you more. I do have one kind of final question that I've been dying to ask you. And it's, given the fact that you donated and you were an egg donor for your sister, but you went through the egg freezing process as though it was your own, would you recommend it to others?
I think it's a really important thing to think. I think everyone should be, if you want to have a family, and if you are not currently trying, or maybe you're not in a relationship yet and you don't know what your future holds, I think it's probably the wisest decision that you can make to go through the egg freezing process. I think that educate yourself, like anything and everything else. Educate yourself to the utmost about all of your options and about what the process looks like, so you never get surprised, and talk to as many people about it beforehand. And watch things like this and read blogs. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's just,
is there any one support item that you wish you would have had before you started the process, or something that could have that you could have been educated on before any of this happened? Or do you feel like it was okay, like you made do?
Oh, I mean, I'm fine. Like I made do for sure. I think probably if I could go back, I would maybe go out and grab coffee with somebody who had done something similar beforehand, just because I never talked to anybody about it. And because, I was 23, I was nowhere near even thinking about having a family. So it was so outside the realm of anything I knew about, that I hadn't been reading blogs. I hadn't been reading.
Well, and back then there really wasn't a lot. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of creative outlets where you could be in that safe space like you described and really share your experience in a way that was meaningful, or that you could talk to somebody to feel like you're not the only person that is face this struggle or face this dilemma of like, now you offered, you kind of have to go through with it. I mean, in some aspects, like you'd be letting your sister down, and this is what the only thing that she wanted more than life, like she really wanted to be a mom, and you helped facilitate that, like it's just such an amazing gift.
Oh, I do it. I will never, ever, ever regret that experience, because for so much, even the second one, even donating the second time, even though she did not get pregnant off of that, I still wouldn't take that back, because like I said before, it is being given the opportunity to make someone else's dream a reality is like, I mean, how often do you get to do that?
Yeah, it's a priceless gift.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
Well, you are very cool. And I'm so glad we got connected, and that I found your film, and that thanks just being for so open and like honest about this, and like that there isn't struggle. I mean, like you didn't try to, your family was so open about it too. I think that's such a piece when you don't have to have a secret. Yeah.
Continued conversation always.
Yeah. Well, we will tell everyone how to donate to your film, and hopefully we'll see it in theaters soon.
Yeah.
Even though that's not how the movie process works. Oh, and so like you're also doing some other really interesting projects. Like you're part of.
Oh yeah. So right now I'm on tour. I've been on tour since December. I'm currently playing Hamlet.
Amazing.
Which is really exciting and super cool. And
what's
we're
your
also
part?
doing tape of the I'm Hamlet.
You are Hamlet. Oh my God.
I am Hamlet. I am Hamlet right
so
now.
We can see you in theaters too.
Yeah. We're also doing Taming of the Shrew. So I'm currently living in the Berkshires. I'm at Shakespeare and Company, which is in Lenox, Massachusetts. We're in the mountains doing Shakespeare all summer. If anybody wants to come, you're more than welcome to come see Taming of the Shrew. We'll be playing through mid-August.
Oh, amazing. Well, I will want your autograph when I see you in real life.
Yes,
or I'll have to come to your Hamlet show, of course.
Absolutely.
Next time I'm in New York.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jordan. You've been amazing. And I can't wait to continue the discussion and see where this goes.
Absolutely. I'm super pumped. Thanks so much for all of your work. I wish I had your blog when I was going through it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you then. But we'll help the future generations of anyone out there. Yeah. Oh, and remind me when I talk to you next, I need to send you this amazing second party donations website or support system where anyone that's donated, they can join their private Facebook group. And it's a support system for other women to talk to women that have done the donation process. Like yours is a little bit more unique because you knew the donor or the donor family scenario, but it's still very applicable to you. So I'll send you all of that. Yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you so much.